Oh, hey guys! So if you missed part 1 of this houseplant tour, please check it out. In part 1, I go through mainly my bigger plants all behind me. And in the beginning, I talk a little bit about the conditions in this room. But anyhow, let's jump into part 2. So this shelving situation is so exciting. All my Thai constellations, also here. Tons of Thai constellations there. Beautiful Hoyas up there, and some Philodendrons and Anthurium and Aglaonema. Okay, one of my big propagations. Whoa, look at this. I took this recently. It was a cutting in water. She's pushing, do you hear that she's pushing everyone? Oh my gosh. I'm just seeing this now. Look, this is new. So the reason why I took her out of the vase that she was in is because the roots are growing too long that if I let it stay in the water for too long, I wouldn't be able to pull out the cuttings. So I decided to just put her in pond for now in this deli container, and look, she's doing so well. This is beautiful. So that's one. Oh yeah, I have 14 Thai constellations. A lot of them are here and up here. Here's the second one. She's living in moss. Beautiful root system. Some algae, but that's okay. I feel like I want you further. Yes, she looks so good. She is, I feel, maybe time to sell her, we'll see. Also, the majority of these are from one mother. It's from that plant. That's actually a top cutting that I took a year ago. Was it a year ago? There are maybe 2 that are from a different mother, but I got it at the same time. Honestly, the genetics in this Thai constellation, it is just outstanding how much this one can take. Like, it is a lot. I dried out a lot. I overwatered them a lot. I haven't had much experience with root rot with these ones. And so, another baby. This is actually another top cutting that I took recently from one of my... I'm only seeing this now. Are you kidding? These are new. I think I might have transferred this like a week and a half ago. And there's one at the bottom. This is crazy. Beautiful. This is a beautiful plant. Ooh. Next one. Look at these leaves. In my favorites video, this is the one that I was obsessed with. Because she was in moss and I didn't give it nutrient solution, I think that's why she's quite small, but look how she kind of looks, I don't want to say perfect, but I don't know. I'm in love with it. In moss, but look at these roots. So many new branches. She's really taking over. I'm gonna have to transfer this somewhere else. Okay, this one is sad and embarrassing. I dropped this and there's like damage everywhere. So I dropped it. This is the Thai constellation. I'm trying to preserve the cream part because I mean, to die for. It came out of the node that had a lot of variegation. I normally don't see specimens this variegated though. And I was annoyed because I dropped it. It did damage the new leaf and it is still cream. You can see some green in the center, I think. I can't believe it's so cream. I'm gonna try to preserve it. I'm keeping the mother leaf just so it could be a solar panel, pull in a lot of light. I'm so excited and interested to see how this one grows. 2 more left here. Wow, okay. This one, beautiful, new leaf. Look at this. Oh, it's always so exciting. Do y'all feel that same way? Like Monstera specifically, you're just like, ooh, that next one I want more fenestrations and I want it to be bigger than the last one. I don't know, Monsteras, I feel like it's just a thing. Okay, any plant. What am I talking about? Any plant. So I'm excited for this new growth. Are y'all excited? She has 3 leaves. Look how many times I propagated it. So this chunk over here was from propagation. Then she pushed out a new growth, propagated it, and then this is a new plant coming out of the new node, and she is beautiful. Okay, last Thai constellation on the shelf. This is another one where I propagated a lot of it, and she was one of my bigger plants. I am so excited to see this. So excited. Look at this. That is a new growth from that node. So you can see that she started out as a single node. She pushed out a new growth from here. Then I chopped it again, and now there's a new growth from this node. So I just keep propagating from just plants that are ready to be chopped just to make more. And do you see this? Do you see this? It is beautiful. Okay. So I had to remove them that way because there's a bunch of Jose Bono propagations at the back. I think I can bring the camera in for this one. So there's one in the corner here. I forgot to mention also, this is prime real estate when it comes to plants that require highlight. And so that's why I had a lot of propagations on the shelf, because propagations need a ton of light to survive, first of all, but also to root initially when you first chop up a plant. So here's one. It's weird because I have so many Jose Bonos, like the Thai constellation, but I'm only over the Jose Bono. There are a few more, so these are pretty sad props. that I ignored, they're all in moss, and I feel bad because if I didn't ignore them, they probably would be pretty big right now. So now that I'm paying attention to them more, they're pushing out beautiful growth. Speaking of that, look at this leaf. So this is what I was talking about. White to cream variegation, they do fade. Like for example, this one was fully like cream, but do you see how it faded to a light green? That'll happen to this one, but I mean, come on, look at this. This one over here, small leaf, there is a new one coming. And then the last one. Wow, actually this leaf is gorgeous. What? It is summer. Look at this. All this growth. Okay, so I'm gonna put all the tech constellations back. Look at all of them. And then I will go into this shelf. Okay, so these Hoyas, I love them so much. A lot of them, I just put them on trellises, so they don't look like the ones down here. Ooh, Hoya Carrata Sumatra. The thing about this Hoya, you get this silver speckling and this darker tone when it's subjected to like higher light conditions. When it doesn't have highlight, they're still green. They're still pretty leaves. Look at this. I don't know, I'm really excited for this one. If y'all have seen the flowers on this one, it is insane. They're fuzzy. So soft. Oh my gosh, if you ever have the chance to touch one of the blooms, it is so soft. But look at the foliage. That's what I like. Hoyas that have beautiful foliage as well as beautiful blooms. Oh no, no, no. I might have ripped something. Hoya Tequila Sunrise. So, you know, again, when this gets a bunch of light, it turns a bit more red. Even if it doesn't get sun stress, I don't know. I think the leaves are still impressive, don't you think? I think so. Okay. Oh, yay. Okay, so Hoya species, Gunungatting. Same idea as the Tequila Sunrise. It gets really red, like more red than this. This is new. These two new growth points. This wasn't here like a week ago. Oh, and there is a new leaf. Look at that. So one growth point here with a new leaf, and then there's another one here. Wow. How are we looking root-wise? We're fine.
We are fine.
You know, a plant that I was kind of falling out of love with, but now that she's, you know, up a trellis and she's looking fuller, the Hoya Zhaoji 003, also known as the Silver Lady. She's really doing her thing. When she gets hit with enough light, she turns like purpley pink. And you can see, I don't know if it's gonna be one of those Hoyas. She's tried to bloom here and over here, and she hasn't yet. So I'm really hoping now that she's in that corner. So the west facing view, there is a grow light. Roots look okay. Remember the gigantic Hania that's under this table? That's probably my biggest Hoya. This is the, oh, this is a new leaf. This is the, sorry. This is the Hania yellow flowers. Long story with this one. This was really infested with spider mites. I was doing an experiment when it comes to hot water dunks and essentially killing the spider mites. It worked. It worked, but the foliage did suffer. I did have to cut a lot of the plant down, and that's why she looks like this. She was really full before. So that is just so amazing that she has this new leaf. You can see also she's working on a new leaf there. Wow, roots, are you good? You're good. Look at that. Hoya Silver Dollar. I just love how robust and thick these leaves are. You kind of see speckling. I always say that it kind of reminds me of like Jelly Belly Juicy Pear in a way. There's been a long tendril that has been circling a little bit and no leaves yet. That tends to happen, but I'm just noticing this now. There is a new growth from the base right over there. We will see. I don't know if it's gonna, you know, push out a growth point there. Sometimes when there's not enough energy for the plant to sustain two growths, one tends to die, but I find with Hoyas, it's like, it could happen. So we'll see. I am excited. Similar to the Hoya Grey Ghost, this is the Hoya Nova Ghost. So very, very similar. Same silver leaves that are just so beautiful. And again, you might get that powdery kind of silver, which is totally cool with me. I got this after the Grey Ghost, so she's actually catching up really fast. I do hear that people say that the Nova Ghost is faster than the Grey Ghost. Let me know in the comments if that's an actual thing. It's been for me like, I don't know. I think they have their moments. But yeah, I can't get enough of the silver. Look at the silver. It is beautiful. Ooh, silver on plants is just everything. Oh, I forgot to mention that the majority of these are in LECA. You are getting so full. Are you kidding? Hoya insularis. It is such a weird Hoya. The leaves are just so skinny. I don't know. It's just getting so full. I used to have this, you know, trailing down, but I want to try, you know, putting it on a trellis because I know a lot of people do and it looks fantastic. Look how full. Super fast, super easy. No roots in the reservoir yet, but there are so many growth points. I'm shocked. I think there was only 2 growth points and now there's like, let's just say 6, I don't know. But look how crazy and weird. I love it. Hoya crassipetulata splash. Absolutely stunning. Huh, I think these are new leaves. What? Oh, I just broke it. It was beautiful while it lasted. Oh my gosh. I got too excited. She has another leaf over there. Beautiful splashing. That's another thing. I love splashing. You'll see that in a lot of these plants. Like there's a lot of splashing, there's a lot of silver. Beautiful Hoya. Definitely recommend. Super easy. And started taking off when I put the trellis on, and now I'm blasting it with a lot of light. Just so excited. I'm so excited for this one to become full. Ooh, the last one here. Hoya serpens. Are you kidding? So I only added this trellis recently. She only started growing again because I'm giving it a lot of light. This serpens was an example of me experimenting by pulling it away from a grow light. She was still under grow light, but the grow light was like maybe this far. And even though it's under grow light, it doesn't mean the quality of light is like high enough. It's now against the window, under a grow light. This is all new. That is outstanding, like new in the past like 3 weeks. Because before she was really just this on this side. And now she's climbing. Do you see this? That's all new. All these new tendrils. Ah, it's so fantastic. Like I didn't even notice. Oh my God, this is new too. Oh my God. This is exciting. The serpens, when you feel the leaves, the texture, just everything, it's like bumpy and rough and it has ridges. What a pleasant surprise. I'm so excited for you. Okay, moving to the top level. Oh, I love. I love this plant so much. So this is a big leaf compared to the other ones. She's on a moss pole and you can see that she's rooted. I think that's actually a new root. That's amazing. Okay, and there's a new leaf. I'm just seeing this now. Like it was growing, but I didn't see, you know, the new leaf like peeking from the cataphyll. I can feel that she's dehydrated, but that's okay. Look at this beauty. There's actually 2 plants in here. There is a smaller one. This is the smaller one with these 2 leaves, but the second one is just gigantic. Look at this. I know I don't show this plant, but this is an Aglaonema. This plant is very special to me because my boyfriend's parents, or family actually, gave it to me a few years ago for a birthday. I ignored it. Its roots dried out too much, so I did cuttings, and I'm thrilled actually because although she's up against the south-facing window, she's at the very top of the shelf, so not a ton of light. And I mean, they don't need a ton of light, and you can see that she's so cute. I'm a pretty like a sentimental person. Ah, fungus gnat. Ah, I was having a moment. You know, I really love my boyfriend's family. They're really great people in my opinion. So I want to keep this alive as long as possible, and I plan to keep this forever. Okay, I feel like this plant is like maybe I need to assess it, but I'm gonna do that in a different video. I think I inhaled a fungus gnat. This pendulifolium. Oh geez. Yeah, I don't look at this. This leaf is facing the west window. This one's facing the south window. So I never look at them, and I have to put them up high because the leaves are so long. This is actually one of the older leaves. This plant has had this leaf for months. This one just came out, I think a couple months ago. I'm gonna have to assess the roots. It has been quite a while that she's pushed out a new leaf. And lastly, a plant that I haven't shown in a while. She's not doing so hot. I think she's getting too much light. Philodendron UPI. So she looks okay until you get to this point and you see all this. There was also a moment where, and tell me if this is a thing with plants or philodendrons, I have like a metal screen on my window. A lot of these leaves were pushing on that metal part and it started to get damaged. I looked for pests because I thought it might be like thrip related. It's not thrips. So yeah, kind of struggling. I know there's a new leaf coming. I can feel it. So that's gonna be very exciting. And I have backed her away. I know she's on that top shelf, but there is a building right there. So not a ton of light in that corner. I'm just noticing my hair. I'm gonna keep it that way. If y'all thought the Thai constellations like that was over, there's more. So we're gonna do the shelf. And my Thai constellations, I guess they're mother plants now. They used to be propagations, but Thai constellations that are in an area mix are all here. So I guess I can show you just here. So look at this one. So weird. I think the shape looks weird because all the variegation's at the very bottom, and that's why up here it looks larger. So that's one. There's one in the back that's really splashy. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I've said this before, but I'm excited because there's a new leaf. Are you kidding? This is so exciting. Number 3 over here. I can't really show it, but y'all by now know what a Thai constellation looks like. And then the 4th one here. This is the new leaf. It is absolutely stunning. Now, I get a lot of questions. Kevin, it's summertime, the air conditioning is blowing cold air right now just because it's really warm today, and you can see the leaves are just blowing in the wind. Those Thai constellations have been there, I feel like almost 2 years now, and they don't mind. Like, you can see that the leaves look okay. You can see that the leaves, okay, I want to change my hair. They have been fine. It's the same with wintertime. Like, it is dry heat that's coming out of those vents, and they've coped really well. One plant that I do plan to move though, that's on that same shelf, is the Crystallina magnificum. Look at this, so big. I love this. Anthurium. Now, there are 2 plants. There's a second one, and there is an inflow right there. I don't know if y'all can see it. I am going to keep it. I'm going to see what happens. I know the plant's probably going to suffer. She's already suffering here because every time an inflow comes out, the plant just drains energy from the rest of the plant. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I do want to move this somewhere. It's just, I don't know, space is kind of not a thing right now. Moving down here, you can see that there are 3 shelves of propagations, mainly Hoyas, mainly strawberry shakes. Probably my favorite Hoya at the moment, Hoya Matilde Splash. I actually don't know if this is, I don't think it's a silver variety. I know a lot of the leaves look silver. I've just been cutting back to bring back the splash, and it's worked over here. You can see that that's a splashy leaf. Those 2 are splashy. I did the same here. So this leaf here is new, and hopefully those are. There is a new vine with splashy leaves, and then the one that has the perfect genetics. Stunning. Look at this. Look at all the silver. Look how it's consistent in all the leaves, and it's continuing. I want to cut it just so I can propagate it and make more plants that have a lot of splash, but I'm gonna hold on for now. Whew, a beautiful Hoya. Hoya Polynura. Pollen is dropping, outer variegated. Look how full. I chopped her. I put some props back. I have some in perlite that I'm planning to trade or sell in the future. Look how full, and I just love how the vines cascade down. I don't need to worry about a trellis. Beautiful plant. It's one that I recommend. It is super easy. The green one, this one, the Broguette, they're all the same like level of easiness, I guess, in my opinion. But come on, look at this. Oh my gosh. That outer variegation sometimes is everything. Whew. Oh my god, look at this one. Oh, still a baby, but still so cute. Then we have the Broguette. I actually don't know for sure if this is like the silver Broguette one or if it's just a splash variety. There are some leaves that are so silver, like these 2, but then you can see up here that it looks more splashy. Same thing with the Polynura, outer variegated. I just kept chopping, and now the result is a full plant, and that's what I wanted, just so I can take cuttings to like trade in the future or sell. And so I have that here. I love when the new leaves come out and they're a bit lighter. I find that when they're under grow light, actually, they turn a bit yellow. A lot of the times they do resolve themselves, but like for example, these ones are just off to the side, so not getting a ton of like, ooh, those look pretty. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Look at these. The pond, do you hear it? Okay, I'm gonna put it back. And while we're on the topic, the bottom shelf has all those props. So it's a mix of outer variegated and Broguettes. Look at this. They're all doing well. They've all pushed out new growth. A lot of them, I think I missed a few waterings, plus there's no nutrients in perlite except for maybe a little bit of nitrogen. I think they do need a touch more nutrients because the leaves are smaller and there is a little bit of discoloration, but nothing too terrible. This one is on my bottom shelf of that wire shelving situation. So right there, and then you have a couple more here. So all of these are propagations of strawberry shakes and moss. Now I've been having issues, you know, getting good variegation. There's actually some good ones here. Like that's beautiful. That one's pretty balanced. But I've had to get rid of a lot that, for example, 3 consecutive fully variegated leaves, even though the mother leaf is not fully variegated. I think the node came from another side. But because I think a lot of my specimens were, you know, pretty variegated, a lot of the propagations are pushing out too much variegation, and you get situations like this. Or you get the flip side where they push out too much green. We're still going, like they're doing okay still. So yeah, that's them. I showed this already, that's where my Mathilde Splash lives. Then we have Hoya, Crassipetiolata Splash, all the props. You can see that they're starting to take over, all these tendrils everywhere. And we have some Hoya Novagos. So the Novagos have been a little bit slow. I think I should have fed them a little bit more often, but yeah, they're starting to grow and they're beautiful. There's an assortment of other plants. Again, strawberry shake. See, like sometimes they don't have enough variegation, and sometimes they have way too much variegation. These are propagating in perlite, so you can see how beautiful the roots are there. That's another example. That's a fresh root right in the center there. Every time I have a vine off of my Mathilde Splash that isn't splashy, I propagate it and I just essentially make a new mother that's just green. And so that's that. No splash. So, and I don't know. Oh yeah, these are my Grey Ghosts. Hoya Grey Ghost props. And this one was actually pretty slow. But look at these leaves, super slow. I propagated these like in the winter, like I want to say November maybe. Here's another one that hasn't pushed any growth. And then this one over here. Beside it, Hoya Silver Ladies. They look weird, but I guess they're starting to grow. Look at these New Guinea Ghosts. Oh, so beautiful. The leaf color is everything. So there's a bunch there. And then back here, the Tequila Sunrises all along there. They're all pushing out new growth. Look at this. Oh, they're taking off. How amazing. So those are the 3 that are in here. This is where my Polyneura outer variegated lives. My Polyneura Broguette is just on the electrical box. Okay, more Hoya props over there. There are some strawberries that I absolutely love. Like this one, the variegation is perfect. This one has pretty balanced variegation as well. Even though there's a lot of cream, like it is still balanced with a bit of green. So I'm happy to see that. Okay, the Hoya species Gunungading. This is a new leaf. Look, there's a new growth there. It is so beautiful. I'm obsessed. Okay, so that's one. There's a few more here. There's a bunch of Insulares. Honestly, look at this. They're really going off. This is new, or maybe the leaf is bigger now. Look at this silver dollar leaf. That is to die for. I don't want to touch it too much, but there are two leaves. Like this is one, and then the other one's here. Look how beautiful. And then this is the vine. Wow. Oh my god, I want to keep it. Should I keep it? Yeah, so they're all mixed. There's more silver dollars there, more Insulares, and there's a Gunungading over there that has some new leaves. Look at that. Ooh, so excited. So yeah, I forgot to mention that shelf is done. I already moved on to the bottom here, and now we're gonna do the rest of the shelf. So these 2 shelves actually are additions that I added a few months ago. Before I only had that one over there, that one over there, and this one over here. I did need more vertical shelving. You know, with the addition of these 2, it's made life easier when it comes to, you know, where do I put my propagations? Where do I put them where there's a lot of light? And so, ooh, this shelf is beautiful. So we have an orchid here, Phalaenopsis GW Green World Snakeskin. So it gets its name because of the pattern and the petals. And it's always different. Like this is more saturated with red, and this one you could see a bit more of the yellow, which is so stunning. Currently this has 4 blooms, and it is one of my favorite orchids. It was one of my first phals that I ever got, and I'm just so happy to see these blooms because they are just beautiful. Then my Anthurium babies, everyone. I don't think I've shown this leaf yet. I don't know if it's like fully hard enough. Anthurium crystallinum crossed with magnificum. The hybrid from North Shore Tropicals. So before I was like talking about how I feel like this hybrid is darker than the one that I have here, which is like more green. These leaves are much darker. And I only say this because generally, I mean, I might be wrong, but usually Anthuriums get darker as they mature, and this one is still relatively small. So just seeing like that darkness in like a juvenile leaf, I don't know. I like feel like it's gonna get darker. which is so exciting. Are y'all excited? Look at this. I thought this leaf was gonna be a goner. This is the Anthurium Crystallino Magnificum crossed with Luxuriance. Look at this new leaf. I am absolutely obsessed. It was looking kind of weird, and you could kind of see that it's bigger on this side than the other side. It's not really symmetrical, but she looked much worse before. This is the one that I had issues with previously. This one looks okay, actually. The one before that. So I'm very happy to see that. Then we have one that actually, the shape was so weird. This is my Anthurium Magnificum crossed with Luxuriance. So this is so weird. I don't know what happened. Look how long. And again, it might grow. I don't know if this has like a deformity. 2 leaves ago, it looked like this, and I thought the leaves were gonna continue to look like this, but then the previous leaf looked like that, and now this one looks like too long. I don't know what's happening, but we're just gonna like allow it. Okay, I had to move a few things. Hoya Mathilde. So all of this is from cuttings from the Mathilde Splash. So like I said, every time the Mathilde Splash would push out a non-splashy leaf, I would cut it and I put it into one pot. But do you see, like, it's in the genetics of the vine because none of these vines have any splash and they're very long. Still a gorgeous plant. I do recommend this plant to a lot of people. Over here we have, oh, I'm gonna break the leaf. Oh, I'm breaking things. Hoya latifolia. So this came from my Snow Queen, the splashy one, and these were the non-variegated leaves. I just thought I'd keep it, see what happens. You can see that there's no splash at all. I do need to repot it. She's in a cup of pond currently, and she just lives here. This is an insane strawberry shake. I'm really in love with this leaf. There are some just fully cream leaves, but there are parts of the plant that have more green that it's able to support them. So that's why they haven't like melted away. But like this plant is pretty balanced, I would say. New leaves, there's some green variegation, but like as a whole, it's pretty balanced. So I'm in love with this one. Okay, and now we're at this top shelf. I debated if I want to put the top part of this shelf and then put a grow light, but I just realized that I have a lot of plants that are either on moss poles or they're just too tall to put under a grow light in the space. So I just decided to put plants that don't necessarily need a ton of light. They can kind of rely on like the grow lights to the side here, depending where they're placed, as well as some west facing view as well. So over here, this is my baby. I love her so much. Philodendron luxurians. I put her on a moss pole because I know they're terrestrial philodendrons and they crawl. Y'all need to look up a McDowell up a moss pole. It is stunning. So I want to try that with the luxurians. Oh my god. So this leaf actually, I don't know if y'all watched it, but this leaf was the one in one of my reels that had damage on it, and it actually like came out like okay, like that's all. Look at the rest of the leaf. What a comeback this plant. The previous leaf here, it also got stuck, which was so strange, but here she is. But we have my philodendron species modeled Fitzcarraldo. So I have her up a moss pole. The leaves are quite big, and this is a very unique philodendron. There's not a lot of people that have it. The leaves kind of come out this like yellow gold color, and then you could kind of see like the silver coming in. That will, like when it hardens off, you see the green and silver over here. Super fast when it's rooted. Like this leaf isn't even hardened off yet, and you could see that there's a new leaf already on its way. I took single leaf cuttings from my mother. I only had room to keep one, and you can see like the leaves started out small, and like as it grew up the moss pole and it rooted in the moss, you can see that they're quite large. Like look at my hand. I have small hands, but like it is still big. So I'm curious to see how long or how big it'll grow. Philodendron strawberry shake, another one. So this one, I just love this leaf because it's pointy. The new leaf hasn't hardened off yet, but you can see that there is some variegation. Yeah, I really like how variable or different like the leaves can look. I don't know, I really like it. Miss Gloriosum. This is a dark form Gloriosum. I only kept one cutting. I did grow this pretty big a year ago, and yeah, I just have her in pond. I'm experimenting because I've only grown my terrestrial philodendrons before in LECA, and I mean, so far so good. Look at this Phalaenopsis, Sogo, Yuki Dian. This one is known for having like larger blooms than like a regular white Phalaenopsis. They were bigger before, but it still looks nice. Like there's 7 blooms on this one spike, which is stunning. If you watch my orchid video, like a bunch of my phals like really were taking a turn, and now they're all doing well. So that's her. Syndapsis, we don't know what it is. It was sold to me as an exotica. I don't want to label it. I know it looks like a few other Syndapsis, but it's more matte. It's not fuzzy at all. So she's going up a moss pole. I do have to tie her to the shelf because she'll tip over just because the pot is so small. But she's going, she's so pretty. Again, silver in the foliage is absolutely everything in my opinion. Then if we turn this beast of a plant, oh my gosh, now I'm breaking the leaves, I'm sorry. A plant that has been MIA for quite a while. Syngonium mojito. I missed this plant. I missed it. I took cuttings from my mother and I just started from scratch. So currently she's getting pretty full. She does have a moss pole and I do need to push the stems towards the moss pole, but there are quite a few new leaves. Like look at that. Oh my God, look at that. There's so many. And oh, look, I just love, it's probably my favorite Syngonium at the moment that I have. We have one more shelf and then this actually. So currently my Philodendron brantianum lives here. This is a plant that is kind of getting out of control. You can see that I added a moss pole so she can grow more. She's here because I used to tie her to the shelf. So she's tied over here. Very challenging. It's a Philodendron I never recommend. But I'm so happy that the leaves are getting bigger. Look at this new leaf that's just hardened off. And like, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. I'm obsessed. Look at this. The silver is everything. Again, the silver. It is so beautiful. Yeah, I felt bad because it was growing well until this moment, and then I ignored her a little bit, didn't keep the moss pole moist, and then that's why this part is like pretty bare. And then I woke up and was like, okay, I need to take care of you. And now she's bouncing back with these top leaves. I do recommend a moss pole for this one just because my environment is not that humid. Spraying the moss pole, keeping it moist, you kind of form this environment around it that makes it easier for the leaves to unfurl. Plus, if you're spraying the pole anyways, then you could spray any leaves that are having trouble unfurling. That's what happened to this one. This was having a hard time, and then I started spraying it because I was spraying the moss pole. Ooh, is this a new leaf? Oh my God, there's another one there. Guys, oh my God, look, there's so many new leaves. I'm obsessed. So yeah, there she is. And then the last shelf, which is very far from the windows. So this is the shelf where I keep a lot of plants I need to keep an eye on, like rehab plants, propagations, and so let's go through them. Okay, at the very top here, we have a Hoya, and I know this goes against what I've been saying, but it's the only Hoya that I have that's in pretty low light situation. I really should just chop it. I just like the look of it. She was living in my living room for a little bit, but I just love how she's just a wild child. Like she really is. So I do need to chop her soon. And like I said, like there are some Hoyas that can tolerate lower light conditions. I almost fell, and this one is surviving. There are some buds, so maybe I should move it closer to a light source. Hoya Archibaldina outer variegated. I find that if they're very variegated, they kind of look like this for quite a while, and then once they harden off, you get that. There is a new growth point just over there. This one needs a ton of light. It won't push out growth unless you blast it with a ton of light. I think this one's getting 3,000 foot candles or 2,000. I have a few Hoya latifolia Snow Queen, so I actually cut it back to make more and just a fuller like splashy plant. So that's one. The second one has the propagations in LECA, and I am just so excited. So I kept all the splashy leaves, cut them in single node cuttings, and I put 4 in LECA. So they're all here. The first one to push out new growth is this one. Look at this amazing splash. And she's pushing out that. The next one was pushing against this one as it was unfurling, but you can see she is splash. She is splash. She is splashy. The other ones do have new growths coming, but they're still very small. This was a success, you know, putting the cutting straight into LECA. You can see that the roots are starting to grow out of the the reservoir, and they are very close to the grow light, probably getting 2,000 foot candles. Ooh, one that y'all have not seen in a while. Hoya, Fishkiliana. Is it innervariate? Yeah, it is. This was in like kind of a prop box situation, so it was getting really high humidity, but I ignored her because this was a time where I had a lot of spider mites. So what I did a few months ago, I did move her out, I put her under a grow light, and she just started bouncing back. Like you can see, this is all new. You can see that there's some crisping here, and I do need to cut these vines off. There are now new cute leaves. Do you see that? So I'm very excited because I thought I was gonna lose it. Y'all know that this plant is like not that easy. I mean, at least from what people tell me, like it's challenging. So I didn't want this one to totally like die, and I'm so thankful that she's bounced back. Insane. Hoya croniana black leaves. So this is constant bloomer. The blooms are, I think they're going, I'm not sure. They're still pretty fragrant, but they're floral. I don't know how to describe them. There's so many though. If you want an easy bloomer, get a croniana. There's just so many. It just blooms all the time. You see how long this is? I had to like wrap it because I felt like it was pulling too much up here, but look how long. So I am kind of just wrapping it like that, just so it's like kind of manageable, but I just love the dark foliage. It's beautiful. Okay, Hoya Matilde Splash. The splashy props, I made sure to keep predominantly the splashy parts, just because I want to make another plant. So you can see here that they're mostly splashy. And I propagate straight into pond. There's a lot of algae because the rule is that you gotta keep these wet. Gotta keep these wet in order for them to root. So I really just keep the water line like up to the very top at the very beginning. Once you see roots, then you could kind of like lower it a little bit. But that's that. In this bin are the 3 Hoyas I got from Plentiful Minds. So because she's being blasted with life. Hoya Australis albomarginata. I don't see any new roots yet, but that's okay. I think it's only been like a week and a half. Same with the Hoya Ficii. And listen, I didn't know that these sun-stressed, so I'm very excited about this one. It reminds me a lot of the cutest porcelaina. So yeah, that's her. And then the last one has sun-stressed quite a bit. So the last one, Hoya Helwigiana. Look at the sun-stressing. This was green when I got it, but because it's right under grow light, she is red. Look at that. Moving to this shelf, we have my Philodendron strawberry shakes. All the ones that started in an aeroid mix. I don't prefer growing plants in an aeroid mix, and you know the fungus gnat issue is the biggest thing. However, I put this yellow sticky trap, I want to say a month ago. Absolutely nothing. So I use beneficial nematodes in the soil. I also use beneficial bugs in the soil, so I think that's why. There are still a few like flying around. I do have the Thai constellations in an aeroid mix, as well as my glorious. So this one I think is pretty controlled. A few strawberry shake props, like this one's cute. I'll show you this because it's so cute. Look at that. This one's so cute. Look at that. Okay. This one was previously in a bigger pot, but I just put her in a cup because I needed to transfer her. So that's her. Some other props. My outer variegated Archboldiana. She's finally pushing out new growth. These are very slow. And there's one last that hasn't died, but she's probably gonna die. This is the Paphiopedilum Wasnier of Vietnam. So that's a new leaf. It was much smaller before. I think it had to pull energy from that leaf, but we're gonna just hope that it'll be okay. Okay, I think that's, oh, there's a tequila in here as well. Moving down. We're just gonna pull the plants and show you just cause like the lighting is weird. Hoya New Guinea ghost. So fast. When it gets close to the grow light, the leaves, they turn a little pink. And then, okay, I don't know if this is a defective one. It opened for the first time. I don't know how I feel about these. They look pretty weird. But here it is. Yeah, it's not too bad. So that's the New Guinea ghost here. Hoya finlaysonii, she is very full. She actually took a long time to push out leaves on the trellis, and so I'm very happy to see all these leaves. This was another one where I had to add an extra trellis, and then all the tendrils were just wrapping around and no leaves. But finally, look at that. This is a sad pot of my Rehab Monstera Adansonii, the variegated ones. So I was originally planning to sell a lot of them, so I had them in moss and they didn't do well. Some of them pushed out new growth, but it didn't look healthy. So I just put them in a pot of LECA. And actually a lot of them are growing pretty well. Like this is a new leaf here. There are some new leaves over there. Anyhow, I don't know how many cuttings are in here. There's a lot. I just want to see how this grows. I cut the flowers off my Phalaenopsis Miki Japanese Pearl. Just because I want to focus on the foliage. Foliage looks good, so that's her. Another Pertusa. This one's more juvenile. This one didn't have support, and that's why I didn't push out any fenestrations. I separated it from the bigger pot because she was growing the other way, and I was like, actually no, that's a lie. She fell out because I was doing a reel. She's here now and she's happy. And I know she's happy because look at those roots. Juicy, juicy, juicy roots. Okay. Hello, Hoya Michele. I'm obsessed with this leaf, seriously. Even the one before that, even though it's not as like silver or splashy, it's shiny, you can see the splashing, and ooh, the camera. And yeah, she has a separate vine that isn't pushing out splashy leaves, but I'm keeping it because the peduncles are on that vine and I want it to bloom again. There is a new leaf coming right over there. I have a few props in pawn of these strawberry shakes. These are the ones that are pretty like decent like variegated specimens, and so I'm probably gonna cut this one soon. I think this is a good candidate because it has a good balance of white and of green and variegated parts. This one too. Look, this is beautiful. Wow, I might just keep this one because it is like so stunning. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster with the strawberry shakes because you have some like these that are fantastic and like the specimens are beautiful, but then you have like the flip side. Hoya Forbesii, she is bouncing back. Like she's actually growing faster. I don't know if it's because it's summer, but wow, this tendril is attacking everyone. Same down here. Do you see these two tendrils? Where did y'all come from? Yeah, I really want this one to bloom. I kind of have a goal just because I ignored this one and it dried out too much. I had to propagate it back. And so she's over here. And Landii, my baby. If y'all don't know, in the beginning of my plant obsession, I ordered plants, but one of the sellers gave me a free cutting of the Landii, and she wasn't in good shape, but I threw it into LECA. It was a miracle, and I just kept propagating her. So look at how much this has bounced back, because if y'all have watched my videos, this plant was not doing so great. And look at her now. She's maturing so beautifully, and I'm so happy that that silver stripe is still there in the leaves because it'll disappear once they mature, but I'm so happy that they're there. I like this like in-between phase, I guess. Okay, and then now the bottom shelf here. Not too exciting, but I'll just show you anyways. Phalaenopsis Mini Mark, y'all know that she pushed out blooms earlier this year. Phalaenopsis Sogo Diamond HLW hasn't bloomed this year. This is actually the last phal that I have that hasn't bloomed, and y'all know that I have a goal to have all my phals bloom this year, so I'm just waiting on this one. The Diamond Panda, I want to focus on foliage, and so I cut the flowers off. This has grown quite a bit. I kind of achieved my goal. But now, if y'all can see that, Future Kevin zoom in, that is a spike. So at least she grew a little bit more. She's beautiful, she's healthy. Philodendron Snowdrift, I don't know if I've shown it here. I know I've shown my patrons. I neglected it in an aeroid mix, and she's actually bounced back quite a bit. She only had this leaf, and you can see that she's kind of going, but she did push out this new one. Look at that, and I don't know if y'all can see, but there is a new leaf coming, so there is some healthy root system there. Ooh, you look rough. This one doesn't have a lot of pink, but this is my Syngonium Pink Splash. There is one leaf with beautiful pink variegation. The new leaf looks like it's just green over there. So that's that. And the last thing on this shelf is my Alocasia Golden Bone. I didn't film it, but there's this whole situation with spider mites in the winter, and so my golden bone was living in my living room. Now, Although it does have a southwest facing window, there's only really room for it at the south side. Because there's a balcony overhang, it blocks the sun. So it wasn't getting a lot of light. There was a lot of root rot, but there was a lot of healthy root growth as well. I decided to separate it. I have some pups, so that's 1 golden bone, 2 golden bone and pawn, 3 golden bone and LECA. This one is so cute. It just opened 2 days ago. The main plant, I cut all the foliage because it was just like not fun, and I'm hoping it'll push out new growth from somewhere. And then this pot of corms. So there's probably more than 20 corms in here. I'm gonna see what happens. Hopefully they don't rot. I'm kind of experimenting and going against what people tell me. I didn't peel them. I haven't had issues before when I would put these corms in LECA, for example. So I'm gonna try not peeling them and putting them in fluvial stratum. Okay, I lied to y'all. There are a few plants in my living room, starting with, and I get this question a lot, what happened to your Hoya Thomsonii? She's here. Here's the thing. I've really debated if I want to keep it. I do love how full and lush she is. I mean, look at this. Are you kidding? Here's the thing though. My boyfriend and I are very sensitive to how strong the blooms are. And there was a point where she just kept pushing out blooms. It was at a point where we couldn't sleep, like it was bothering us that much. And so I just moved her out here with much lower light. She's still okay, like I'm feeling the leaves and they feel okay. But yeah, I know I'm gonna have to make a decision soon because she's probably not gonna be able to tolerate this low light for much longer. But again, there's an overhang right over there and there's 2 condos. See, in the wintertime when the sun was lower, it peaked between like 11 to 1 over there. But now that it's summer, the sun is like all the way up there. Okay, this is funny. My ZZ Raven lives here on the floor to get the best view of the sun, still in the same pot of LECA. There are a bunch of new growth up against my west facing window. And this one's pretty unobstructed. Then we'll make our way here. And this is where my forgetii lives. And yeah, I guess you can see here that you only really have these buildings, but when the sun sets, it crosses this path and then you see it over there. So a good amount of light for an Anthurium, and that's why I have her here. The newest leaf, look at this. Absolutely stunning. It's much bigger than the previous one. Oh my gosh, I love the forgetii. So yeah, she's getting enough light. During the day though, I do put her on the dining room table, which is basically no light. But during the day, she's here. I have a few, ooh, wow. Okay, I have a few cuttings of the Hoya cinnamonifolia, the purple flowers. She wasn't doing great. So I just took 4 cuttings from the mother, threw away the mother, and I've said this before, you can propagate Hoyas in water and they'll do just fine. Obviously there's a point where you have to move them into a substrate because they're not going to get any nutrients from just water. But I mean, here we go. And on that topic, I do have, oh gosh, the cup is dry, some Hoya australis Lisa cuttings. And then I took some just in case the Hania yellow died. I have some Hania yellow props as well. And like I said, beautiful roots, look at that. So yeah, if you don't feel comfortable propagating like any like aroid or Hoya in a substrate, just go with water first. That is the safest bet in my opinion. Oh my god, okay, so this is funny. My second forgetii is doing a weird thing where she's getting really long. Do you see this? She's getting really long. All these plants are behind the garbage. So, God, this is like hard to show y'all. So she looks okay, but there's damage on this side. The previous leaf looks like that. There was a point where she just nonstop was pushing out inflows and I couldn't stop it. I was like, can you please not? I've just been giving her water to kind of stop the inflows. So I don't want to give it more nutrients. Anthurium moody. Oh my gosh, she looks beautiful. I'm still not sure if this is like an actual moodinum. Oh my god, look at her. So she'll start out, you know, being this red. Depending on the lighting, she'll get dark. She'll fade to a green, you know, in time. There's 2 plants in here, so there is another one that has this leaf. Last but not least, and I cut the flowers recently, it's my Fal Miki Fortune Cat. So these 3 are on the floor behind my trash can. When the sun is still up high, they do get a fantastic view. And then when it sets, they still have, you know, an amazing view. So yeah, that's why I put them here. Okay guys, I guess that's it. I still don't know how many plants I have. Like, do I count propagations? I know people say yes, but I'm like, I'm always propagating, so the number changes. I always say 150. I think it's 150, let's just go with that. I am so happy that I was able to film a houseplant tour. It has been more than a year. And I know a lot of y'all love these kind of videos. If you're new and you enjoy this content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the very end, thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!